The dawn of humanity. When the world was a canvas of untamed wilds, our ancestors lived by the rhythm of the earth. But this fragile peace was about to be shattered. A shadow fell upon their lands, a beast of immense size and fury, a wild boar so colossal, so fierce it was known only as the Boar King. This wasn't just an animal, it was a force of nature, a walking mountain of muscle and tusk that tore through their hunting grounds, leaving destruction in its wake. The tribe's bravest hunters had tried to face it, only to be scattered like leaves in a storm. Fear began to poison the heart of the community. Food grew scarce, and the cries of hungry children echoed through the cold nights. The Boar King wasn't just a threat, it was a siege. The tribe's leader, a man named Kale, with eyes that held the wisdom of 1,000 sunrises, knew something had to be done. Desperation was a poor guide, but survival was a powerful teacher. He gathered his people around the flickering heart of their campfire. The air was thick with tension. Kale didn't offer empty promises of an easy victory. Instead, he spoke of strategy, of using their minds, the one weapon the Boar King could not match. He drew plans in the dirt with a charred stick, outlining a complex trap. They would use the very land against the beast. They would dig a deep pit, camouflaged with branches and leaves, along the boar's known patrol route. Others would create diversions, making noise to drive the creature exactly where they wanted it to go. It was a gamble, a dangerous dance with death, but it was their only hope. Everyone had a role, from the strongest hunter to the swiftest runner. It was a plan built not on brute force, but on unity. As the first light of dawn painted the sky, the hunt began. The air was still, heavy with anticipation. The diversion team, a group of agile young hunters, began their work. Their calls echoing through the forest, mimicking the sounds of distressed prey. The great boar, arrogant in its power, took the bait. It charged, a thunderous tremor shaking the ground with every step. Its tusks, like curved daggers, sliced through the undergrowth. Kale and his core group of hunters held their positions near the hidden pit, their hearts pounding in their chests. The sounds of the charging beast grew louder, a deafening roar of fury. Suddenly, it burst through the trees, a vision of raw power. It was even larger than the stories told. For a moment, even the bravest among them felt a chill of pure terror. But there was no time for fear. As the Boar King thundered towards them, Kale let out a sharp cry for signal. The hunters sprang into action. They hurled their spears, not to injure, but to steer the beast. The shafts clattered harmlessly against its thick hide, enraging it further. It swerved, just as Kale had predicted, directly onto the path of the concealed pit. The ground gave way beneath its immense weight. With a deafening squeal of shock and rage, the Boar King plunged into the earth. The trap had worked. The tribe erupted in a cheer, but the battle was far from over. The beast, trapped but not defeated, thrashed wildly, its tusks gouging deep wounds into the sides of the pit, trying to find purchase. Kale, knowing they had to end it quickly, stood at the edge. He raised his spear, a tool carved by his own hands. And with a mighty roar that echoed the beast's own fury, he leaped into the pit. It was a moment of unbelievable courage, a leader willing to sacrifice everything for his people. The other hunters, inspired by his bravery, followed suit, their spears finding their marks. The battle in the pit was a chaotic whirlwind of dust and desperation. When the dust finally settled, silence fell over the forest. The great Boar King was still. The tribe had won. A wave of relief and triumph washed over them. But their victory was stained with sorrow. Kale, their wise and courageous leader, had not survived the final, desperate moments of the fight. He had given his life to secure their future. As they carried their fallen leader back to the village, alongside the spoils of their monumental hunt, the mood was somber. There were no songs of victory, only the quiet tears of a grateful, grieving people. That night, they honored Kale, not just as a hunter, but as the man who taught them that true strength lies not in the power of a single warrior, but in the unbreakable bond of a community. His legacy would live on, a story told for generations, a reminder that even in the face of nature's harshest trials, humanity's spirit, courage, and unity could triumph. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you were moved by this story of courage and sacrifice, Please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from our ancient past. We'll see you in the next one.